let's take a look at our AT&T Crew Chief Challenge. Which driver will have the best chance to win their first NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championship in 2009? Will it be Mark Martin, who, by the way, will drive for Hendrick Motorsports next year, Dale Earnhardt Jr., his teammate, Kyle Busch, or Greg Biffle? To play, text the word crew to 191 on your AT&T wireless phone and send in your answer. The results will be shown later in the race. Standard text rates will apply. It's a tough choice there.
That's some good ones. Yeah, and it'd be great to see any of those guys win a championship, that's for sure. Carl Edwards doing everything he can to try to win one.
Everyone has cycled through with their first green flag pit stop, so now Carl Edwards again back up front as the leader. So let's let Ford take you up to speed, beginning with our leader, Mike Massaro.
Well, Doc, talking with crew chief Bob Osborne this morning, it seemed like he was pretty realistic about the situation. He says, look, we need something to happen, but we at the same time know what we need to do. We need to go out there, lead as many laps as possible, and potentially win this race. Can't finish any worse than third. He said the only way, though, that we'll be heartbroken at the end of this day is if the 48 team does have problems and we're not able to capitalize. Right now, they're taking advantage of whatever they can. Shannon?
Well, Mike, another driver who would love to go to victory lane here today is Kevin Harvick, currently running second. They made a small air pressure adjustment on that last pit stop just to try to free that 29 car up. But here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, Kevin Harvick has been very consistent. In 7 starts, he has 5 top 10s, and Todd Barrier, his crew chief, told me this morning they feel this is the best that they've been all season long. Dave.
Shannon, remember recently when Tony Stewart gave his endorsement for Most Improved Driver in 2008 to the driver of the 6 car, David Reagan? I asked his crew chief, Jimmy Fennig, about that this morning, and he said, well, he definitely deserves it. I said, well, so what does a young driver learn that has given him that kind of credibility this year? He said, now David has learned when to race and how to race. You can't win the race if your car is wrecked and sitting on the hauler. They made a track bar and air adjustment for a tight race car on that first stop. Mike?
After qualifying on the pole this weekend, the obvious question, or so I thought, for Ryan Pemberton was, well, can you get it to victory lane as well? He said, I don't even want to talk about wins yet. Our main goal at the beginning of the year was just to be competitive and be able to run with the top 5. We are certain that we can do that today, but it took us a lot longer than we anticipated. He expected that this team would be this competitive back in June, and he wished that they were where they are now, way back at the beginning of the summer. So they're just beginning to peak, but he's not sure they can get the victory lane just yet. Jamie?
And behind David Rudiman, it's Jamie McMurray. 3 of the last 5 races he has finished in the top 5, including 3rd at Phoenix last weekend. Things are on a roll. He and his team have clicked. They feel like they can win here today. The bad news for Jamie, though, this is the last race for he and crew chief Larry Carter. Larry Carter moving over to work with Paul Menard at Roush Yates next year, so Jamie will have Donnie Wingo as old crew chief. But right now, they're just looking to get to victory lane one last time together. Shannon?
Jamie, the end of the season has been very tough for the number 1 of Martin Truex Jr. 3 DNFs in the past 7 races, but they are certainly looking to go out on a high note with a strong run here today. On the first run, the car was loose off the turn, so they did make a wedge and an air pressure adjustment. The car is still loose for Martin, so what he's doing right now is he's trying to move to the top of the racetrack, as you see him right there going through the turns, just to try to find a little grip. Dave?
Matt Kenseth going to the bottom to try to get back one of the 4 spots they lost on pit row with that little snafu. The car was just a little bit tight, took a track bar and air adjustment for that, but Matt not happy. He fell from 3rd to 7th during this round of pit stops. Mike?
And this will be Casey Mears' final run with the Hendrick Motorsports operation before moving on. And right now the car not exactly to his liking. A little bit loose on exit of turn 4, so much that he says he can't even hit the throttle on exit and using a lot more brake than he wants to, Jamie.
And Tony Stewart, it's been an emotional ride for him this weekend, knowing he's moving on from Joe Gibbs Racing, the team he's been with for 9 years. But I asked him before he got in the car about his new endeavors. He's going to be an owner/driver. As you see Casey Mears try to go to the inside of Tony Stewart, he told me, you know what, we're going back to business tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. His entire team at Stewart-Haas will have to report. He said, I won't be there, but we're getting on the game plan. We're ready for next year. Behind him, Denny Hamlin. He's come to life. He just popped in the top 10 for the first time today. Of course, Denny Hamlin, he's won here twice. He's actually finished here 3rd twice the last 2 years. Great racetrack for Denny Hamlin. He's running right now in the top 10 cars. So far, so good. Doc?
69 laps in, and it's all about Carl Edwards doing what he has to do. And here is a 3-time winner, Greg Biffle, in the 16 car. Oh, sideways, Eric Almirola in his Chevy.
Right. Oh, let off. Now hold it again. All right, now go.
He lost it coming off of turn 4 there. Slid all the way down the front stretch. Didn't hit anything.
Looks like the right rear's flat. Just be easy with it. Caution's out.
Looks like just a nice lazy spin. If he can get this thing back to pit road without the tires coming apart, he'll be fine.
Well, there's a lot of people out here, sigh of relief, that want to work on their race cars. They're glad to see that, and glad it wasn't them bringing out the caution. You can see him get loose there.
Looks like he just got behind on the steering a little bit. And just like Dick Beatty used to tell us, the old director for NASCAR competition in
That's right.
Cup Series, he said, turn her left and log her down.
From Michael Waltrip's onboard camera, watch Almirola have a handful. Hard to see.
Extremely hard to see. Michael was glad he wasn't there when he went by.
Keep rolling.
Michael's back there struggling. Michael just went 2 laps down. Look how quickly everything happens right here. Right in front of him, you can't see. You're just hoping that car went to the bottom like it's supposed to.
He does a great job not to hit the wall. He let off the brakes at just the right time.
Yeah, and you were just getting ready to talk about Greg Biffle. Big break for him. They were reporting a loose wheel. Greg is already a lap down, and as of right now, where he was in 3rd in the points coming into this race, he's back to 5th, the way things are running right now. So,
Guys, what are we going to see on pit stops, our veteran crew chiefs? What's going to happen?
Well, you're going to see a lot of 4-tire changes and a lot of chassis adjustments.
And I think that some of the guys in the mid-pack that need track position are going to come and try the 2-tire thing right now. It just seems like track position is pretty important. They've only got about 15 laps on those left sides.
Yeah, if you're going to do that, this is the time to do it because of those, like you said, just 15 laps on the tires. It's a perfect opportunity to do that.
Leaders have peeled off, and that is the access road. You must come in to commit to pit road. Carl Edwards, Kevin Harvick, David Reagan, David Rudeman.
and as a driver, I'm going to ask y'all if we can wait till tonight when it gets a little more grip before we can just try 2 tires. But I know what your strategy is.
Under caution for them today here coming out on lap 69, the spin of the 8 car. Here they come down at 45 miles an hour. Dave.
Jimmy Johnson up to 14th now from 30th starting position. 4 tires and fuel. If anything, an air pressure adjustment. Jimmy says right now the car is pretty good. Shannon.
And Kevin Harvick has gone from tight to loose. They're going to go back on the air pressure adjustment that they made on the first pit stop. 4 tires and fuel. Mike.
Carl Edwards said he started that run pretty good, but they began to get a little bit tight in the center. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment, a 4-tire change in Sunoco race fuel, but other than that, no major adjustments on the 99 as he pulls away.
And Edwards hustles it out of the pits and will just beat Harvick out, and Reagan. Clint Boyer is there. And almost some contact between Montoya and Kyle Busch. Show you how close this actually was. Watch it 99.
Half a car length.
It's all about inches here in NASCAR. Details. Carl Edwards, guys, getting it done here under caution. Think these guys